you can yodel.
Can I? I've never tried.
Yodeling in the background. Okay. Hi. I'm a minute late, but, you know, we're all in this together. So, this is today's page. We got a special day ahead, and I'm very excited. This is today's page. The suggestion was the risk-benefit ratio. It came from David A. And which reminds me, I have to check it off in the book. Dramatic. Okay, so yeah, this is today's page. I drew this in mixed media on a piece of heavy green cardstock that I'd monkeyed around with the surface of it already, and so some of that surface information is peeking through. And yeah, pretty pleased with it. It's fun in the sun. And then, of course, all the finishes were done digitally. So, as per the usual. Today, I've got a very special event. Woohoo! That my really good friend Tristan has joined me in the studio.
Hi.
So, we're going to switch up our cameras. And we've both got some ideas. Oh, dangerous ideas. I think I gotta switch your camera, just yeah, and then I'll just adjust it.
Oh, perfect.
People are gonna think we know what we're doing. Okay, so Jim's joined us. Hiya, Jim. How you doing? Ciao. I think that means hello. Goodbye. Maybe both. I don't know. And then Just April says, "Hey, y'all." Just April is the winner of my Monday draw.
Cool.
So
That's not complicated at all.
So I did my first Monday draw on, well, coincidentally Monday. Actually, I did a test one on Friday. Marguerite won, and she got a mermaid. And so April has asked for a steampunk mouse.
Oh, that's good.
So
good choice.
This is good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of my big silly face. And hiya, Linda. Linda's joined us as well. So we have some ideas. I've been reclaiming my one sketchbook, this one here that I've been putting all of the suggestions in, and I've been writing them down in this book, and so that I can reuse some of these pages, and like so. So we are going to do something that's a little bit different for me. And that is, I've got put together a whole bunch of pieces of paper, some old drawings, some that's a note for later. Some old drawings that I'd found in the box when I was going through old RP papers, and I've got a bunch of magazine cutouts, as well as some cardstock, a bunch of stencils. There's paint. There's paint markers.
Ooh, marker.
Over here.
Yeah.
Right? And,
Stick.
you know, all kinds of fun in the sun. Tape. There's the Letraset stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some things today using all of this jazz. And then there's the matte medium over here.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then there's the water there. So we're going to have some fun today. For those that haven't met Tristan before, and Tristan's been on the stream before, Tristan is the art director for RP Comics for Runsman Press. And so all of the 73 books that we've put through RP, Tristan has done all the graphic organization of those, the graphic elements. Just April says, "How is everyone today? How are you today?"
I mean, I'm great, but I keep hitting my shins.
I'm sorry.
On the desk, and so if I'm quiet, it's because I'm wreathing in pain.
What kind of jerk makes desks out of bookshelves?
This isn't awkward to sit at all. No, we're good.
Okay, all right.
I gotta build up the calluses, you know.
One of the things about being, Just April says hi, Tristan.
Hi.
One of the things about being gorilla-sized is that the way you have to work? I'll switch the camera direction again. Turn it this way. What have I done to you?
That's kind of cool.
Now it's upside down. Good heavens, Christopher. Come on!
That's part of the process.
There we are. Now we're right. Just gotta get you to move
this
over
is
a
wrong.
little bit.
I don't want to be right.
Perfectamundo.
Hey.
People are gonna think I know what I'm doing.
Oh my God.
Nobody's gonna think that.
No
So, so you've done all the graphic design
Yeah.
for all of the books. The books are all up there if there's anything that you wanted to showcase. But all the RP books are in those folders.
No, I've blocked that all out.
I think we've shown everything.
Dramatic
We've shown
times.
them all as well
I
too.
think so, yeah.
But you know, how many years now have you been working as a graphic designer?
Oh, in total, over 10.
Wow.
Not quite
pretty
15, somewhere in the middle.
Just April loves your nails.
Oh, thank you. Okay, nail check. Some little Easter eggs.
I've gone for a clear.
Yeah.
I've gone for completely clear, lacking any sort of thing on the surface.
He won't let me do his nails.
I will not.
I think that needs to be a special stream. So if you could just vote in
Okay.
the comments.
Tristan, listen. Listen to my ear racer. David gave me this. I don't want fingernail polish. I'm just,
It's okay. It's
I'm
fine.
excited that I finally stopped chewing my nails at
Just-
over 39 years of age.
As an artist, when I see a blank canvas, all I can think is how I can put little flowers and sparkles on it.
So in addition to doing all the graphic design stuff, you've also done a number of pages and a number of pieces in our comic jams.
Yeah, I've snuck them in there.
But then you've also, one of my favorite pages, Vote for Nails for Chris, just April has misguidingly suggested for a vote that's not going to do anything.
We'll put them in timeout. I'll mute them.
No, we got good people.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of my favorite things that you've done, of course, is a 4-page short about a what is it now? Is it the diver?
It's the octopus that has to go to the bathroom, so he's swimming through the ocean looking for a washroom to use.
It's Johnny on the spot.
And he finds it, and it's already occupied by a scuba diver.
A scuba diver, and then of course he inks, and it's a gigantic piece of ridiculous.
I was like, how do I end this? Ink. Spot.
Of course you ink it out.
Yeah.
And then now you're working on your first book.
Yes.
After all these years, because we've been doing this since 2015.
Yeah.
Now you're working on your first book.
Yeah.
And how's it feeling?
It's good. It's constantly changing, and I have to remember what the original idea was. Because I keep learning new things as I go.
Yeah.
How I could possibly do something. And then I'll draw the picture, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't like this dialogue. So, so I'm just trying to get the roughs down, like block it out.
Yeah.
And then I can just fill in from there. Get the pacing right.
That's a massive challenge, is that as soon as a person starts learning the processes of making a book, then immediately they want to, accelerate. They want to step up. And, but you have to stay consistent through the project. Parceling projects really helps in that regard. But even if you do 4-page shorts that you're going to collect of a continuing story that's been done in 4-page shorts, those last 4-page bits very, very seldomly resemble anything like the first one.
Yeah.
Until you settle into your groove.
But I will say, if you're struggling for ideas for what to draw or write, nightmares are a good source of material. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where this one came from. I woke up from a nightmare and I was like, sketch something real quick. And then I wake up and I'm like, what is that? And then I just, flushed out the story a bit more, right?
So nightmares is a good source of inspirato for pieces. Yep. And when it comes to story approach, is there a certain dimension you're trying to bring to it? Like in this case, I know you're sourcing nightmares, but what is the general mood or the general aesthetic that you're going for? Is there a tone or a pace to it? Anxiety. Yeah, I mean, that's where most of my dreams and my nightmares are kind of spring from. But definitely the pacing and like that cold, when you get that cold fear at the back of your neck. Yeah. That's kind of what I want as a vibe. It's a good vibe. Yeah. It's a good vibe. Is there because there's a particular kind of horror
genre that I like that I don't see very often, like chilling, as opposed to just gross. Yeah.
So more of an X-Files
Yeah.
than a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
unsettling, cold kind of thing.
What is an X-File?
And it's
And where
hard-
do I find them?
And it's like, it's hard to write and draw that as someone who's not classically trained to try to like
What is
communicate.
classically trained?
I don't know, just
Do you consider...
being told what to do.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Because it's like, where, I'm just sort of flying by the seat of my pants.
Which is, I think, what everybody does. I don't think... I think that this is the challenge of when you're moving into that field
Yeah.
of trying to execute a larger project from the smaller engagements that we have before that. We work our way up. Generally, people work their way up. Is that you immediately have this... There's these little bits in your head that you're putting together as... it's got to be like this, or I need to do it in such a way, or I don't want to do it wrong, or do it like that, or I don't want to be, whatever, So sometimes we talk ourselves out of.
Yeah.
Direction.
Oh, I'm good at that.
What was I talking about?
I'm gonna go with some navy.
Just April says the X-Files are right behind the W's.
Yeah. But the X-Files episode that still haunts me because I watched it as a child is the Fiji mermaid one.
Fiji mermaid, really?
Yeah, it still scares me.
For me, it's the guy that can squeeze through any area. I did not enjoy that.
Okay.
The idea that he can get into my room despite
Yeah.
all my windows and doors being locked. And the family.
We're gonna keep our bloodline pure.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. I'm gonna work on a one-page story using a little bit of scrapbooking. The Peacock family, Jim says he knows the name of them,
Yeah.
and all day long. That's just finally, or the Peacock family. All day long. And finally, someone agrees. Someone says to it. Okay, so this is just a bunch of random. I'll do it on this same page on both, same color on both page. So this is just a bunch of stuff, random pieces of magazine that I've pulled out, and hello. So we're gonna just have some fun, and try to put stuff together and try to make some kind of narrative out of it. I'm going to try to work from a suggestion to see, what kind of foolishness I've set myself up for from the book. But we've got we're doing a different approach than we usually do here. Check those ones out. These
I
three,
got my stuff everywhere here.
because they've got some saucy and this is my forest one.
Oh.
But yeah, we're gonna give that a go. So scrapbooking, or I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not getting it right. I think it's called. A lot of people call these junk journaling. And the junk journaling thing is something I've never really identifiably acknowledged. That as a course of action, as a way of doing pages. I don't think I've ever realized that some of the assembly, some of the mixed media stuff that I do utilizes, the approaches that they use in what many of them are calling junk journaling.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was just scrapbooking. But that's a different thing, for all I know. And it's just April says, now you speak my language. So, yeah, it's just, I did a lot of it. So I put together 14 pages at the start of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I've shown them on the stream. And it's taking random pre-drawn images, putting them together, and then having to structure a narrative out of that. And so I've already, so the last so many pages that I've been doing are from these. And there's so many to work from, and you're welcome to work from any of these too if you want. But I was going to talk about how I don't like the Eagles, man. It's literally all that comes to mind. It's the Big Lebowski thing. So yeah. So there's a bunch.
Very cool.
well, they're all kind of half done now. Well, here's a jelly plated surface that you can use as well. And so I'll just keep passing you things, and you can pick and choose whatever you want to do with stuff. But this is a bit of a different approach than we normally take. And in the course of doing so, here's more stuff to choose from. There you go. There you go, Lucy. Okay, so I've got to pick. You could use his mouth for a pocket. What is it? Whose mouth for a pocket?
I'm afraid to ask.
Oh, his?
Oh, that's good.
That guy's? Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Look at that.
Yeah. You can use those. That's great. I just do these all the time, right? The page. Oh, there you go. Yeah, nice. Oh, this one.
Oh.
I'm talking about this.
Ah. Bears have a mouth.
That's a good idea. You could do that with this too, but has anybody seen my skin? That'd be a fun thing to animate. That'd be good along those lines. So Friday, I'm going to be showing the Monday's drawing from the weekly Monday drawing draw, and my podcast was first called the One Page Comic Extravaganza. The One Page Comic Extravaganza podcast, and I just like doing that. That's one of my favorite motifs. Okay, so we've got hunting for geodes with a suggestion from Jen Wren. That'll be the one I'm going to do today. Now, I know what geodes are, right? The crystal business.
Yep.
I might have one in the pile of cutout
It's a good
things.
band name.
It's a great name.
Crystal Business.
Crystal Business. I thought you were going to say geode. Crystal Business is a great band name. Make a tag shape of a pocket. Yeah, I could try. Well, I don't want to do pockets. That's really complicated for me. Now people are going to say, it's not complicated. This is all you have to do. And I'm like, no! Instructions are hard. So, so I think I'll start with this picture of this building that I'm about to mess up. So there's Matt. I got Matt Medium from North Shore.
Is that what you use to stick stuff down?
Yeah, but I just made a mess. Where's my paper?
Perfect.
Where's my papier?
Wait for the inspiration to hit. I'm just gonna play with
Ouch.
this like a hey, it's going.
So I've always said that my sort of one of the things that I've always found really inspiring about putting together any collage I've ever done in my life is that there's this part of me that desperately wants to channel Terry Gilliam and from Monty Python, which sounds noble, but the reality of it is he's a very talented guy, and the reality of that is not anywhere that I might think it was going to go. So, but that's as soon as you start moving a page or a piece around on a page, that's where my brain starts going. Is that this guy's going? Oh my goodness!
Hedgehog comes over.
Pivot! Smacking somebody with a purse. Such good stuff. You know those images were at least 2 feet?
Wow,
At
really?
least 2 feet. 2 feet by 3 feet, some of them, yeah. That's how big he worked. And he put it all together, right? The cutouts and the half painted and half magazine things. And then he'd overlay a giant piece of plexiglass on top. And of course, as soon as you start lowering that down, if you do it with any speed, everything blows off.
And there's a little
And I'm like,
static, yeah.
That just sounds too complicated. Oh, look at that. This is a really... Be careful. This stuff loves to come out. It's like, look at me!
Okay. We'll keep an eye on it.
That's all right. We'll get through this. We're all in this together, folks. So yeah, so I put together all of these pages for working on so quickly. How quickly was it? Like I put them together so fast that it's like I could be doing this all the time. Why haven't I just used this? Because I always have this thing about I want to draw. And why do you go through all the complication of cutting something out where I'll just draw it? And then so the first time I'd said that, I realized, okay, that sounds a little bit, well, I can draw it all, you know, which is not what I had meant it that way. Oh, yeah, look at this. She's got much finer control on the amount of matte medium that spills out of things for her. So, yeah, there's just this whole part of me that was like, I'd rather just draw that than have to wait for her to cut it out and have to wait for her gluing it down, you know. Sounds that I actually make when I'm arguing with myself. I mean, even in this process here with assembling all these images together, there's this sort of expediency that I'm feeling. Alright, so the narrative generally for me, I don't know about you, but the narrative generally comes together as soon as I start assembling the image. Do you ever find that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I like the type of drawing where you, with like paint or markers or whatever, you do some blobs, like color blobs or some shapes.
Yeah.
And then with that shape, you create, sometimes like you could do like human heads, or you can do cats, or like just strange little monsters that come out of those shapes. But it's like it helps because like you've touched the paper, like the art has started.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of like it just gets silly from there. But I like that.
Yeah, me too.
The blob drawings, yeah.
It's just sort of, you know, immediately just sort of starts generating into something.
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing down the magazine images right off the hop because I have to use up all of this matte medium that I spilled all over my page. Need scissors?
I'm looking for a smaller paintbrush. Scissors work. Oh, there we go. So I just look to my left.
So now I'm putting this crazy kid down, and then I've got one more of him. I think it's the same dude. Maybe it's a different dude. Who cares? But look at that. I've managed to make all of that matte medium work for me and not against me. I've got some kind of bishop or pope that I've put down here.
Oh, he's a fancy man.
I'm going to call him Carlos. See, I like when it ribbons up. I like the little folds and stuff that appears in there.
Yeah, my guy just has a wrinkly shirt now.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Even if it goes across the face, I'm like, I'm going to use that.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, it's like what I do with my my sewing. If something goes a little off,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, that's a feature. I meant to do that. It's supposed to be crooked.
Well, that was intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one can tell me otherwise.
I meant to do that. There's paper towel right behind your computer. So, and here's some skizzers. And you want some gold?
Yes, I do.
So,
Oh, it's not real.
it's a gold. I got gold paint markers if you want to utilize that. Okay, so Jim says, where is the Corbin? The Corbin is the sleeping up of the stairs. So,
Grapes.
them's the grapes. Okay. All right, so I've got a start. I guess I gotta let this guy dry for a second. Yeah, Corbin's sleeping. He's had an adventurous morning.
Oh, there goes my good track record for.
He's had a very adventurous morning, the cat, so. Okay, so here we are. Sorry, I'm just getting messages in. I've tried to explain to somebody something, and they keep asking me more questions like it's my thing to do. What am I looking? Oh, the fan. I was gonna... Just give me a second. I'm just gonna go off to the side and blow dry this. Lori's old blow dryer. I asked her one day, I said, Lori, do you have a blow dryer? And she goes, I don't really use a blow dryer. Yeah, but do you have one? She goes, why? Just because I need it for something. And then when she sees what I was using my blow dryer for, she's like, my husband's crazy. So you got to shake him and then press down once on the nib. And
I got a
there you go.
heat gun because I was too impatient for watercolor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because, like, I usually paint in, like, gouache or acrylic, where, like, you don't really, I mean, probably if you did it right, you build up. But I like solid color immediately.
Oh, yeah?
Watercolor is a little more subtle. So if you're going to layer, you got to wait between things. I'm like, no waiting for me.
I ain't got time for waiting.
I don't have time for that. Okay, what do I got going on?
We already established today that neither of us have the patience to wait the entire cycle through a microwave. Because neither of us like the multiple dings at the end.
Yeah, no dinging. Don't do the dings.
We haven't got time for all this dinging business.
Has anyone ever experienced those, you know when microwaves were brand new and there was all those cookbooks? Like 30 easy recipes to make tonight in the microwave. And it was like mushroom soup and chicken and just everything's weirdly steamed and stuff.
Yeah.
I really want to find one of those books at a thrift store just to...
They're generally more elaborate than just make it a sandwich.
Yeah. Like,
I just want a sandwich.
like new technology and people are like, wow, yeah, and then...
Let's make it as complicated as we can.
I used to microwave everything in college. Meat. I would microwave chicken.
Yeah.
So, get a good rubber consistency.
Objectively.
Yeah. And then, just cheese on anything, really.
Put a little bit of cheese
And then,
on that.
once you realize how to use a stove properly, a whole world of texture opens up to you. Like, things can be crispy.
I heard a thing's called flavor.
Yep. Flavors.
See,
I got to grapes, and now I'm out of ideas.
See, I just grabbed some relative things, stuck them on here, and I have to make something of this. There's a whole bunch of Kate and William cutouts for you.
I was like, wow, the same person over and over.
In case you want to make some kind of narrative involving Kate and or Kathy and Billy.
Yeah.
Call them whatever you want.
Oh, I could put different wigs on them.
Ooh. I'm in already. I like that already. These two look like they need some wigs. So these are pages with lots and lots of notes on them in my sketchbook that I've just painted over to try to reclaim some of my sketchbooks since I've moved all of the suggestions into their own book. So now I'm trying to, utilize these surfaces, but, there's layers of paint and whatever else here. So this book is going to sit like 9 inches thick.
That's a good idea, because I have all these sketchbooks from college that's like, I didn't exactly use them for like drawings. It's just like real quick logo sketches and just awful things, So I was like, and I've kept them because they must never see the light of day. But I think it'd be cool, just to go over Put some acrylic and just paint through them.
Well, why not, right?
Yeah.
So the suggestion that I'm working from is, wrote it down, didn't I? Hunting for geodes. How this works with hunting for geodes, well, we'll figure that out as we go.
There's Will and Kate. Jump scare. Ah! This guy in the back.
Buy my novel, I'm angry at my grandma. Oh no, that's the other one.
That's it, yeah.
Harold. Okay, so here is an office scene. So I'm just drawing office equipment and silly bits of business here, and I've got a Venus with her arm broken off as the boss who's, here's what I need you to do, Johnson. Because, you know, that's the
As
sort
you
of
do.
thing I do. And then I've got these two statue angels here that are, oh, this looks like an exciting story. I would pay attention to the card game. So. So, you know, it's the sort of the ideas and direction that sort of comes to mind as soon as you start working.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just assembling some of those images together.
Oh, there it goes. Right on the...
What happened?
Right on the knee.
Oh, no.
It's okay. Mm-hmm.
Do you need a ruler for anything or no?
Nah, we're good. I'll just eyeball it.
Because I have rulers. I have the technology. Hiya, Ann. Welcome aboard.
Oh, can you see anything I'm doing? I'm just gluing stuff down so they're shiny.
It's
Doesn't make
working.
any sense, yeah? Will it ever? No.
So I'm going to utilize these characters in, you know, like these two is the joke about pay attention, Margaret, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to draw environments behind them. Like I've already started drawing an office scene here.
Oh, nice.
Let me, can I adjust the angle here a little bit? Yeah, no zooms today. I got the zoom camera on T, so. Okay, so, yeah, I'm going to try to emulate some of this structure in the building that I posted down first. And so I'm going to use that design language. And there, I'll use these windows as the setting for the room that we're in. And draw those in behind the boss here, as she's in the foreground telling him what's what. So I'm just using this paint marker for for just putting down the design so that people can see what in the world is he getting up to now.
Stole someone's hat and put it on the prints.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I think with the amount of money that Monarchy has, he could afford his own hat.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm going to say is that's not very kingly behavior.
Yeah. Probably got it from a urchin child on the street. Taking the hats of the needy. Oh. See, I got overconfident because of the... You said I was so good with this stuff, and now...
You were doing great.
It's everywhere.
Oh, is that right? You got need more paper towel? We got?
Yep. Thank you.
See, I put so much on that first time I used it for the entire page.
I was trying to be all delicate. Now I'm just... It's like literally everywhere.
I'm always impressed by when people are using gel medium and applying it down to the surface, and they've always got this sort of soft and elegant touch to it, and I'm just like a bull in a china shop when it comes to that. So I've been putting together this formal office room. He's standing in front of his boss as she says, "So here's what I want you to do," you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll put.
So now I just need
No,
more
that doesn't
silly
work.
hats.
Oh, look at that! I can just wipe it off. Anyways. I don't think I even considered the fact that I'm drawing with an orange on a blue background. And the fact that, hey, those go together. Hey, that works.
How strange.
I'm going to get more creative than that.
It would have been so much more funnier if I just cut out all the Wills and just had like an army of Prince Williams all over the... Next time.
You know,
Ooh, now that's a hat. You see that?
there you go.
That hat's getting taken.
Stealing from the queen.
Mm-hmm.
She's disrespectful to her memory. Okay, so I've got the mansion, and then I've got this little aside of these two, and so I'm going to put the title across the face of the mansion for this story.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got these two little angel characters that are looking up. The one's looking back at it like, "Oh my!" And the other one's like, "Pay attention."
Mm-hmm.
So this has this has nothing to do with the story at all, but it's just utilizing these two little figures, and then so we're gonna cut inside where this statue of a woman with one arm broken off is giving orders to this priestly looking fella. "I want you to go out and get me the biggest geode you can find."
This is right.
"What's a geode?" "I don't know,
Just find it.
but it sounds saucy." Yeah, so this is the big story that I'm putting together in my head,
Fantastic.
which is so ridiculous. But sometimes you just got to lean into, you know, and
Yeah.
just yep, this is what I'm doing, and I'm gonna stick with it. You know.
Just super goofy.
Well, that's the general.
Did you need another statue? Statue lady?
You don't want to use that?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, that's going in.
I'm just looking for more hat victims.
So I'll put a smaller panel in the center, and I'll draw the priest on adventures trying to find the great geode. And then I'll say, "There it is!" And she'll be like, "Oh my, not you." That's how ridiculous I am. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know if I can fit that in. We'll see. You sort of start drumming together a plan as soon as you start sticking things together. And why not, right? The trick is, I think, to make it look a little tidy and orderly, and that can be challenging.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Okay, you got a little toque.
Yeah, I definitely kind of want to use this figure. Yeah, I'm going to put it... Okay, I got an idea. Man, I am ridiculous. Alright, where's the medium? Wish me luck, I'm going in. Or is there... No, okay. Tried a different approach. I just smooshed it off the back of the... all the excess that we have on the tube.
Awesome.
I've just picked it up with on the back of the image, and now I'm just taking whatever detritus is on the neck of the bottle.
That's a good word, detritus.
Yeah.
I try to incorporate that more because whenever instead of saying debris or garbage,
Yeah.
I like just detritus.
What do you think of
Oh,
this
so
roast
good.
beef, hon? Oh, it's detritus, Mom.
I love it.
No? Not quite that?
I think it's the wrong
I'm stealing this back.
context, but yeah, no, there's something like that. It's fantastic. Okay, I gotta get a bird's eye view of the damage here.
The damage. And there's all kinds of acrylic in the studio here you can utilize as well.
I like to think that everyone's trying to pressure this man into wearing hats, and he's like, I don't want to be part of this new trend, this new fad.
Just not a hat guy, man.
He's not a hat guy.
Yeah. Just don't pressure me. And then the page can be peer pressure. It's just wrong, kids.
Click. Do you not want to do anything?
It says shake it up and then press it down, and then you shouldn't have to keep pressing it too hard. It should just start to flow out. Yeah, you don't have to press hard with it. It's you're wiping off.
Okay, I get
Yeah.
it. Okay, sorry,
It's a
we're
light-
ruining your markers here.
No, you're not ruining the markers. It's just a light application thing. Okay, so I got my plan. In action here. So I'm going to have so she says, I want you to go out and get me a geode. And so I'm just getting the rough drawing down now. So here is the rough illustration of her office as she's telling him what's what. And then this next panel that I've divided out here, that goes from over here to over here, is I'm going to have the priest, or dude in the big yellow coat, I'm going to have him making his way, up a mountain on a mountain path. And as he's arduously journeying to his objective goal, I've got this little lady statue here in the front going, I wonder if Charles feels for me the way I feel for him. Just, again, completely having nothing to do with the rest of the narrative.
Fantastic. It's a little side quest,
Yeah, half my storyline is nothing to do with the main. And we'll put a valley, mountains in the background. I'll develop that with more color. I'm just putting down the basic story. Should have his cape billowing out a little bit more. And then in the final panel, I'm going to draw him in front of the gigantic geode. And actually contextualizing this with what the suggestion actually was.
Nice.
And I know what you're saying to yourself. What is a geode? Well, I'm glad you asked, Tristan. So, do you ever do this kind of thing at home?
No.
Okay, so super fun
Little
then.
collages, yeah. I mean, when I was little, I used to, cut up the National Geographics and stuff, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I can't. Other than what I've been, sticking all these old drawings on the stuff lately. I tried to do a scrapbook piece last week, and with whatever results, so. Just a big hunk of rock with shiny bits in the middle, huh?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to say, oh, well, actually, a geode.
Yeah. Something I like doing, in my spare time is something called rock hounding. It's where you go and you take rocks from places. Hopefully cool ones, not just like random rocks. But at least in this part of Ontario, it's a very old seabed. So it's just a lot of corals. You can get some shells in there, some snails, things like that. So it's fun to go to the little pebble beaches and stuff around the city And I just sit there and I pick up bits of jasper and quartz and tiny shells and stuff. And there's a point to that, but I can't remember how that came up.
Well, geodes.
Geodes, right? Yeah. So you can find those here too. It's just you need a hammer.
I already drew my geode because this one was looking kind of. I don't want anybody to take any weird kind of departures with the fact that I'm drawing this rock shape. I started going with this one in front of the priest, and I went, nah, somebody's going to say something weird. So I'll just switch that one out. Here we go. Of course, the size of the geode that he's discovered. His response is going to be, I hope she doesn't think I'm carrying this back.
Sometimes some people shouldn't be allowed to have markers, and I might be one of those people.
That's an idea. Oh, was that your phone?
Oh, yeah.
So, Lori and I go for a walk each night, and there's this guy who's grown some nice roses. And he has a sign up that says, "Look with your eyes and leave your other senses out of it," or something like that. Because apparently people kept stealing his roses that he has directly beside the sidewalk. And so he has like literally a bronze plaque that he affixes to his fence every spring because he takes it down for the winter.
Oh.
And look with your eyes. Leave them there. What are you doing? Yeah. I just think it's fantastic and fun.
Yeah, we always have people stopping by the house and clipping their own bouquet of lilacs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, would you be okay with it if I came to your house and did that? But whatever.
Hey, those are mine.
Those are my flowers. Just looking at that one. So as you can tell, this has gone off the rails. And I'm no longer attempting to make any sense.
I think mine stopped making sense right off the top. I mean, at the very last panel, I've got two signs pointing at the geode that says Jeff's Geode, enjoy with your eyes only.
Hey, at least you have a story going on. Don't know what's
Well,
happening.
you're going to assign a story to anything.
That's true. Well, this is about a cult of hats.
See?
So, this guy's all like, I'm too pure, I can't be converted, and then, oh no, I ripped off Prince William's face, that's fine. He's gonna get a black eye now.
Chris, I'm curious to find out what your guest thinks about drawing in coffee shops. So Jim did a stream last night, for those that don't know. He did the latest episode of Hey Man, how's your movie going? And which is all about the process of him animating a full feature film.
Oh, yes.
And so Jim did an episode last night where he's live drawing, which is super fun. And but in the course of him doing live drawing, Jim is singing and doing different voices and talking to the drawing, as most of us do. I firmly attest that most of us do that. And I personally believe this is how he behaves when he's in coffee shops.
Oh, okay.
But how do you feel about drawing in coffee shops? Because you're right around the corner from the Starbucks that you've relatively kept in business.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Milk latte, brown sugar, by the way. I'm all for it. For me, they're always a bit too noisy. I can't do like loud sounds, so I wear noise canceling headphones, right? And I also
can't hear anything.
Nothing at all. And I do tend to be quieter in public, so I do mumble to myself though. Like I speak out loud when I'm working.
Do you?
I narrate my actions and don't even really realize I'm doing it. So I can't hear me, but other people can hear me.
Go over here.
And it kind of depends on what kind of establishment and what hour of the day. Because you have to think if you're sitting there for hours, you're taking up a table. Like the business might be too keen on that. I've never been kicked out, but then again, I don't sing when I'm there.
Do you do animated voices?
Not on purpose. Not because I feel like when I'm with other people, I can get very loud. I have no volume control.
What?
But and I think there's little things. I'm getting way too complicated. Sorry about that. But there's certain things to navigate if you're doing a live, like, can you avoid getting other people in the background, blah, 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 or is it just the reality of it? You're going to be in someone's video. And, like, the comfort of the other patrons. But in general, yeah, it's kind of like, because there's something about, like, sitting at home at your own desk with your sketchbook that you're just like I don't know what I'm doing. So you go outside, like, you get yourself a little treat, and then suddenly you get some ideas, and then you get excited and go home and, like, do a full piece or something. But
this is why I do most of my drawing in the John.
Yeah, right?
No.
But it is good, especially if you're one of those sketchers that draws from life. There's a lot of good material in coffee shops, and you can make up stories about people and things like that. Always very interesting individuals. So, but I've never been one for that. I'm not a very good figure drawer. I know that's surprising, going by this lady right here.
Nice.
Definitely lean more to a cartoon style. If you can count it as that. Yes, I don't know if that answered your question at all, but yeah.
Does anybody else have any thoughts about drawing in public, folks? It's a good question, Jim. No, I'm being silly when I said that Jim sings and whatever else. He's.
I find, like, doing any of your sort of craft in public it can be nice because it gives your mind, like, a bit of entertainment. Like, you're not bored. You're not listening to a show or movie, but, like, you're just outside in the world, and I like that. But it does invite a certain kind of person to speak to you.
So what are you drawing over there on a piece of paper?
And offer unsolicited opinion.
My brother's a good drawer.
I find, although, funny enough, because I think maybe sketching, especially in a town like ours, where there's art schools and stuff, it's not that uncommon, but knitting in public really puts you in front of some weirdos. I was trapped on the bus. I had one man talk to me for about 10 minutes about how soft my hands must be. And don't want to revisit that.
That's awkward.
But no one's looked at my sketch. Someone has looked at my sketchbook and gone, oh, okay. That's nice.
That's nice. Yeah, that's the comment. The most regular comment that any creative gets is, okay.
And if you know anything,
sure.
And if you know anything about artists, we're extremely confident all the time, so that would not bother us. But,
that's why whenever I go someplace, I kick the door open and shout, "Get to know me!" That's how I enter a room these days. Dana has joined us. Hiya, Dana. Welcome aboard. And Tristan Marguerite says hello from British Columbia, Canada.
Hello, British Columbia, Canada.
And she also adds that sometimes people are snoopy.
Yeah, that's true. I've been to British Columbia one time.
In Canada?
In the Canada.
Nice.
There was a puma. There was a puma warning when I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And the man's like, let's go walk in the mountains with this pug, which is essentially a chicken nugget. It was great. I was terrified the whole time.
Oh, you were just waiting for a puma to come over and say, hey, is that an order of chicken nuggets you got there?
It was nice being a little, Ontario tourist. It was in Invermere, so it was right over the mountains. Not in BC proper.
Marguerite says that she draws in cafes, parks, etc. Usually.
Draw like from life, like from your surroundings, or is it just a ambiance thing?
Well, Jim's been animating his film. Like he generally works in cafes, and because there's a lot to be said. I think and Jim has spoke to this on his stream. Hey man, how's your movie going? And where he talks about that. It's like having people around you, and there's lots of I think that because his characterization is so good, it's got to work very inspiring to be surrounded by. Like, the more eccentric, the better, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, independent coffee shops are the best for that.
Which is why I do most of my work at Taylor Swift concerts.
I just mucked them up. That's okay.
Marguerite says, in a park, a guy was filming on a tall pole. I asked what he was doing, but he didn't answer me, which I thought was rude. Did you kick the pole?
It's like
hey, kick, guy, I asked you a question.
It's a warranted question, I think.
Landscapes and parks.
Yeah.
That's
Although,
what Marguerite's doing some pieces on.
I can understand, though, as a fellow goblin person that crawls around in the woods and on beaches collecting mushrooms and rocks and things like that, I have been noticed by people, and they don't want to say anything to me. But when they do, I can understand like not wanting to explain what you're doing because it just makes it weirder. Because like I had this thought the other day while I was picking up some feathers from a dead bird I found in the woods, that no one else was doing that.
What?
I've never seen anyone else out there doing these things. I might be the only one, and it might actually be weird.
The guy was in some kind of handy cart.
Oh, even better. He came prepared.
Do you mind if I put you in a painting, sir?
Sir,
honestly,
please stop driving away.
I do realize that there's been a number of locals that have watched me walk out of the woods with an empty iced coffee cup and wearing nitrile gloves.
Is that for picking up things?
That's for touching mushrooms, yeah.
Ah, I see. Yeah, there you go. Margaret says I do those things, pick up random bits.
Fantastic. I got a bone collection. Maybe I shouldn't admit too many of these things out loud. Found a weasel jaw the other day.
But it's
on my mantle.
It's one thing to find things in the woods, right?
Yeah.
It's another thing to be like, oh, I can take this home and boil this, and if you're taking the elaborate steps, it might be too much.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say I haven't done that. But,
So see how these work. I'm using as chalk markers, and pretty sure as soon as I put paint on or water on these, they're just going to wash right away.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of,
Jim says I always tuck away in a corner. It's nice to be out, but he doesn't want attention. Well, because, it's one thing. There's a condemnation that people, I don't think they recognize that they have in their voice. And someone will walk up to you and go, what are you drawing, cartoons? With such judgment, like, okay, I clearly understand that what I'm doing is not for you. And then there's this part of me, anyways, that why do we want to get further into a conversation with this person then?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No better than you.
It's so I've got structure coming together. Whoops, sorry, wrong way. On the page. So we've got the setting. So the suggestion for this page is hunting for geodes, and that comes from what Jen Wren Scraps is the person who suggested these. I hate it when the only spot is at the punch point in the bathrooms. Oh no. Yeah, that's true. We there's a Denny's in St. Thomas, and so when we'll go to, maybe take Laurie's mom out for a bite or something, we'll go to this Denny's. And the washrooms, there's this wall that's built in front of the washrooms. So it secludes it away, that hallway, from the restaurant, which is great. Except for the wall's only 6 feet tall. And so I can literally see the entire room looking at my bozo of a head bouncing along behind this wall like a Muppet, and of course, because of my height, I can see over the wall at all these people looking at me going, what's that guy doing over there?
Ugh. That's not awkward.
So there's these things too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we got all these different stencil setups. I might use this for something or nothing.
Oh, we went into that with no plan. Oh, there we go. This one.
Just because we can. Yeah, it's rough, when you're in those public places and you're trying to stay inconspicuous and do what you're doing. Occasionally you get somebody come over and say, I'm sorry, I'm just curious and I just want to take a peek at what you're doing. And my favorite response is always, oh, and then they walk away.
Yeah.
Because to me, yep, that's good. I'll take that. I like that. Oh! Because I don't know what they thought I was doing, but the response sort of says that what they found out I was doing is not what they thought I was doing.
Yeah. They're like, oh, that went sideways.
I thought you were over here plotting a revolution or something. I thought maybe he was a conspiracy theorist and I could see some interesting theories. Hey, that's fun. Here we are. We're just flying on this today.
Is it weird enough yet?
What's that?
Is this weird enough yet?
I think it's great. It's kind of got a kind of a Pee Wee Herman aesthetic.
Yeah. I like this is my favorite guy, is the little fish man here.
Fishy!
Fishy, fishy, fishy,
Fish.
There's the most elusive fish. He followed me wherever I did go.
Wherever I did go.
Peak humor when I was 9. Peak.
My peak humor was Blackadder.
See, I never got into that one.
Oh, see,
funny
something
enough.
about Blackadder when I was well, I was a teen when I was, I think I was in my teens and I'm watching Blackadder. And there's this funny sketch with Prince Rupert, and he's got some thespians coming by to, make me a little bit of culture. Give me a little bit of culture and all that, Blackadder. You know what I mean? He goes, yes, I do. It's an admirable attempt, my lord. But so everything they say, Marguerite says she loves Blackadder. Mm-hmm. So every time they go to do any verse at all, they stand with their legs astride and their arms spaced out, and they always go, "Oh, that I was on the evening of discontent." Every time they're about to orate,
No!
Nice.
just charging shout before anything comes out of their mouth. And so every time Blackadder walks into the scene, anytime the camera moves towards him at all, he says, what is it that you're performing tonight? We're performing such an act that shall not be named. Right? And he goes, oh, you mean Macbeth? And then they go, oh, hospitato, hospitato, I. And they have to do this regimen in order to take away the jinx of having said the Scottish play's real name.
Yeah.
So, of course, he keeps saying it, just to drive them crazy. Get this upstart brigand from the room. Oh, do you mean me? Or did you mean Macbeth? Yeah, it's just gonna make a mess. I too have a cunning plan. Yeah, there's the... Marguerite says I learned a lot of English history. The first season of Blackadder is so different than the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And in that first season, Brian Blessed plays Rowan Atkinson's dad.
I love that guy.
And so and this is a young Brian Blessed, where he still has all of the mass, where he's still a large man. And every time he speaks, it says, "Hello, Edmund."
Yeah.
It's just this voluminous sound. Oh, just too good. Yeah, we don't. We need more programs like that. We definitely do. It's just gonna. There's Edmund owes money in one episode to the Bishop of Bath and Wells, and so he's hiding because the Bishop of Bath and Wells is a big, terrible monster of a man who collects by any means necessary and punishes people for being in debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Baldric answers the door, and then comes the reports to Edmund and says, there was a man just at the door. And he says, well, what did he want? And he said, he didn't say. Well, as long as he's gone away, Baldric, that's all I need is for that obnoxious jerk, but he says all kinds of offensive terms. The bishop at the door, and he says, what did he didn't say his name at all? And the bishop kicks his foot through the door, knocking Baldric flying because he's in front of it. He goes, I said I am the Bishop of Bath and Wells. Just so extremely over the top.
Nice.
Marguerite's talking about the turnip episode. That's what's his name? It's not just Tony Robinson, who does Time Team, plays Baldric, and the other guy who plays Percy is, I can't remember his name, but it's brilliantly funny. You're working on cartoons? I used to do that when I was a kid. I used to be able to draw Mickey Mouse really good. That's what people have said to Jim.
Oh, jeez. And you punched him, I'm assuming.
Marguerite has fallen down a Blackadder hole.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's so good. Such a good program. It's like a what is it, a Pink Floyd hole where you suddenly you can't help it. You remember every Pink Floyd lyric and stuff like that. I'm the same way with Blackadder. I'm the same way with things like that. So I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Monty Python, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know one of my absolute favorite skits in Monty Python to this day is still Confuse-a-Cat?
Oh. Nice.
It's such a ridiculous piece. It really is. And what seems to be the problem, ma'am? My cat just seems bored. No problem, madam. They pull up this 24-foot truck and start unloading this whole assembly, like stages and all these guys coming in and out. Oh, it's just too much.
I mean, I love their pointless sketches where like, where's the punchline exactly? But I like the cat license.
Yeah.
Or the fish license one, or whatever.
I think it's
it's cat and fish, I think.
I think it's both.
Yeah. And I always really like the trying not to be seen.
Oh yeah.
And the mosquito hunters.
Mosquito Hunters is amazing.
That was good.
I like John Cleese as Little Red Riding Hood. Is he Little Red Riding Hood?
I don't remember.
He's the girl. He's the Scandinavian girl in the woods. And so, if you can imagine, well, that's it's the German episode. So if you can imagine John Cleese with his arms rolled up on the sleeves and wearing a little dress, like a little German maiden dress, you know, and he's walking through the forest, pushing over small trees and eating a big, leg of mutton or whatever, and it's like, and just burping and carrying on, and meanwhile the narration is. And the young little gnome was traveling through the forest, and it's just like this lovely this fairy tale story. But meanwhile, he's like belching and kicking trees over and spitting and throwing things. So good.
Nice.
If anybody remembers which one that is, please let me know.
I also like the village idiot or something. It's like the smashing two bricks together.
With the guys with their what I want to say napkin.
Yeah, he's got like a napkin.
It's not a napkin. It's a. You know what it is, tied on the top of their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smashing two bricks together.
They're in this just submitting those meetings in the Regency area. I also like, there's a dead bishop on the landing. How can you tell he's, that's a fountain pen in red.
I'm not going to try that one.
And so they say, did you see what parish he's from? And he says, well, how would I know? And he goes, and almost the entire cast that are on the stage, or that are on the set go, it's tattooed on the back of his neck. It's like, what?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, too good. It's not going to show up there. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I don't think so. So, as much as I'm filling in the background of I say this, I tend to regularly say this, but as much as I fill in, the scene around the figures, I do tend to cover it up. Because that's, the place where ideally I'm leaving room for text, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll often draw it all in, even though I know I'm not going to use it. But just to know it's there. Just to give me the options of where I can place the text.
Mm-hmm.
Just keeping it real, y'all. Oh, I didn't bring out these. I'm so sorry. They're smaller
Oh, gold ones. Okay,
marker
cool.
pens as well, so.
I'm just getting impatient again that some of them have to dry before I can actually outline, so.
Ugh, it's the worst.
God.
Ugh. So I was going to play around some of these shapes that came up that stencil and make it a little more interesting around these figures.
This too reminds me of sort of the exercises of like not being too precious with sketchbooks, like that desire to have a good finished piece of artwork.
Nah.
And I'm like, it's a sketchbook, just sketch in it.
Yeah.
So this helps. Like I want to try the like painting over some pages that like I was unhappy with.
Yep.
Because they weren't pieces of art anyway. Just like keep going with it.
Well, Hans Hofmann, the educator for the American Abstraction School, he would take compositions like drawings and paintings of students, and he would start working right over top of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see some of these people just ready to punch him in the nose because they're like, how dare he? And he'd always just say quite plainly to him, you're a student.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to learn, this is how we go about learning here. You knew that. you don't get to be precious with this. It's just you're working way towards the images that you want to make, and it sort of had an effect on me to make me. Well, I kind of took it to everything I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a learning process, and everything is you're on your way to something else. And so I don't get too concerned about any marks that I'm putting down. If I put something down wrong, I just go over it. I don't. Somebody asked me last night at the jam, do you ever take drawings and crumple them up and throw them in a wastebasket and start all over again? I'm like, nope. And I went, what? And I'm like, no, I don't. You figure it out. You gotta just try to. Because I grew up, as poor as I did, paper I could just crumple up and throw away. And,
Mm-hmm.
you just sort of have to make do with things. That's fun, how this is. This shape language is coming together.
Geodes.
Had a nice geode with that, man.
I had some nice extra grapes in there.
I like them grapes. How you like them grapes? I guess that's apples, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who has money for grapes these days? Grapes are for rich people. They're like $7.99 a pound.
We buy grapes and bananas, and they, we do that. Make sure we eat the grapes and bananas up. Because we're so used to having things in the house that the kids just take care of for us.
Yeah.
And now we don't have that, so make sure we eat them bananas. Because we still haven't figured out how to buy less bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just in case the kids come by, they have some bananas.
Well, there's no such thing as too many bananas.
I guess not. So hopefully this is looking like the entrance to a cave at the top of a valley. It is in my head anyways.
Mm. Like, have you ever seen a cave?
Well, the kind of shtick I've got set up here is that once he finds the geode, he gets to complain about. She doesn't think I'm carrying his back, does she? Wah, wah.
Decided that this is now some kind of strange Bigfoot type creature.
Nice. So you're adding hair to it?
Yep.
Nice. I have to shave. I've been just growing my facial hair out
Me too.
for like days.
Sorry. Go on, yes?
And I keep doing that, washing my hands in the sink, and I look in the mirror and go, man, you gotta shave. And then I walk away from the bathroom. I gotta remember to do that. Later.
That's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah, that's a tomorrow. Oh my. Oh, I meant to draw another window in here. So, is anybody in the chat today got anything that they're working on that they want to tell people about? I know that a bunch of guys that are down in the Phoenix, Arizona region, they had a convention this last weekend. I'm kind of keen as a jelly bean to hear how that went. It's the Phoenix Con. It's a convention specifically for independent comic makers.
Nice.
Yeah. That's not half bad, eh?
Mm-hmm. I like when the more specific type of conventions instead of these like really broad ones, because you end up with the same stuff all the time.
Yeah. Well, not everybody's dialed into, all the super books and all that nonsense, or just the same as like the full-on IndieCon, where it's like, okay, it's like a competition on who's the most indie of the indie people, as opposed to independent comic makers. Like IndieCon is what I'm talking about. It's like all of the Fantagraphics type things, where who can be the most alternative. Put a little bit of gold on the desk here. Hopefully it's not going to be too overpowering. It's I find that working this way, I tend to put down a lot of base colors and then have to get to, and then I have to sort of bring them up to being the actual tones with detail that I want them to be. So I feel a little bit belaborious, but that's an idea. I'll do that same joke every single time.
Honestly, I'm just doing that thing now where you find people's faces in the newspaper and you just draw silly things over them.
Nice. That's like the lighter side of, you put the little running comments on things that the characters might be thinking or might have said. Yeah, I had a studio when Laura and I met. I had a studio in the market downtown London, and so in said studio, I was exposed to, it was opened out onto the larger Covent Market, and so because of that, I'd have people walk right up to my studio, like right up to the door into my studio, and just shout at me. They would shout, "What are you working on?" Scare the holy baloney out of me every time. It's like, what? So I'll have headphones on, or every single time. It tends to be what happens. But at the same time, you have to appreciate that there's some interest. Even if it's just curiosity. What's that guy doing over there? Is that guy gonna set some fires? What's he doing?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Because sometimes I have to, remember, because where am I going with this? Because I've noticed in some of the things, like when I go on my walks and I'm collecting certain things and looking for stuff, the amount of people I notice that aren't curious about anything around them, it's like at one point, I was, out walking, and there's 3 people, including myself, like, looking at a hawk at a tree. That was, like, pretty close. We're, everybody's trying to identify it. We're all looking up and pointing and, like, talking about this hawk, and a bunch of people are walking past, and they're just like, walking.
Completely.
And I'm like, I mean, personally, when I see people looking up and pointing, I will also look up and point, or at least, half of that. But I was just like, and like I walk through, and I'm like, there's bright orange mushrooms just on the side of the trail. And I'm like, how, are we not looking at this? That's so cool.
And they look at you and go like, yeah,
and they're
okay.
like, yeah, okay, weirdo.
You can buy those at the store, right?
And in general, like, I find I think is that maybe it's a little bit judgmental, but there's a lack of curiosity in a lot of things, and I think we just need more of that,
You can buy mushrooms at the store, even though the big deal is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I completely concur.
You get the gist of what it is.
Yeah. No, I do. I like it's. There's this sort of a lack of curiosity in some folks that sort of it's hard to relate to for people that are, creative types, because oftentimes we've got this overwhelming curiosity. We haven't any ounce whatsoever of being able to rein in. That's looking brilliant.
Does it look good on it?
That is looking brilliant. And I like your approach so much better than what I've been doing.
It's got a like classical art vibe to it, like a little like holiday in Rome kind of thing happening. It's nice.
Marguerite clearly went to Emily Carr. She says she says one of the windows to the print room was circular. Looky-loos. So a classmate made a sign that says Emily Carr Fishbowl.
See, I would have did like, don't tap on the glass, it scares the students. That'd be good too.
Do not feed these fish / students. Yeah. That's so great. Fishbowl. Yeah, I love stuff like that. You have a hard time connecting to the fact that other people don't have curiosity sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it makes you wonder, like, well, why aren't you wondering this? Why aren't you interested in this stuff as well?
Why aren't you also up at 3 a.m. Googling past politicians of Bulgaria? That's what I do.
Is this a thing?
I do. Sometimes I'm like, I just really need to know about Georgian dance. And then I end up spending all night watching videos of Georgian dance.
Do you do any Georgian dance?
I don't have the knees for it.
Oh, I see. But,
yeah.
But you like to watch it.
I like to watch it. It's intriguing. I don't know if it's just like, because you used to have to, if you want to know something, you had to look it up in your parents' collection of Encyclopedia Britannica.
Oh, you betcha.
And then once Google came around, you're like, oh, I can just Google things? Fantastic.
I started doing from a door-to-door salesman.
I think you told me about that.
I was buying encyclopedias when the kids were still young. And it's like, when you think about that now, you're like, why did I waste the money if the interweb is going to be out like 10 years later?
Yeah. It's good though. I like those books.
Oh yeah, and it's what's even best is when the kids got to get one down to look something up, and you hear that thunk as it hits the table.
Dude, I remember checking those things out of the library to do essays.
This classmate was in animation. Some of her prints were hilarious puns. Marguerite says, I can imagine if you're going to make such an out there joke like the fishbowl and just paste it to the window, you're going to swing for fences there.
Oh yeah.
You gotta just go for it sometimes, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like when you see a mirror and it's just a regular household mirror and someone has a sticker on it that says object to mirror seems closer than they appear, that they've clearly peeled off their car, right? And they've stuck it to a household mirror and you're like, is there, do you not have this warning on your car now?
Right. Like, great joke, but
Okay, so here's here's the structure of what I got together here. I've got the setting. This takes place in this big mansion type thing, and then the text, the title for the page is going to just go right across the building, so it's going to be half covered anyways, and then these two ladies that are just here to the side, the one is going to say, "Ooh, that sounds interesting," and she's like, "Pay attention to your nails," or whatever they're doing, and then it just immediately cuts over to the lady that has the statue lady that has no arm, giving a mission to this guy who's in her priestly robes and saying, "I want you to go and give me the biggest geode you can find. Here are the coordinates." And he says, "What's a geode?" And then the next panel, of course, is him on his arduous journey, and I get to draw his flowing gold cape flapping in the wind behind him. But
superb.
And someone said, "This is the way." I can put text there, and then of course, then she's going to say, "I wonder if Rodrigo feels about me like I do for him," you know. And then when he finds the geode, he's going to say, "She doesn't think I'm carrying this bag there, does she?" So there's the whole story.
Love it.
Sometimes the images sort of tell you where the story is going.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun to try to round out some kind of narrative, to try to structure some kind of start to finish idea. Mm-hmm. Even though I take little tangents as I'm going.
I'll get there.
Like there's a part of me that wants to draw a little tiny turtle just walking across the carpet for no reason at all. Like there's, it's kind of what my brain does.
Yeah, I love that.
How are you doing on this one?
I think I'm good. I think I'm just gonna keep touching it, but I think.
This is okay. So what do you got going on here? Are we gonna add text to these? Are we going to scan them and add text?
I feel like we should. I feel like
so
something needs to be explained.
So we can do that. We'll put text on them and then we'll post these for tomorrow.
I think that's good.
All right, so what are we going to put on this? Do you have an idea for the story yet, or is that magic going to come through in the process?
I don't know, guys. Is that giving you anything?
I like that everybody's got red ears and noses.
Yeah. Everybody had to
awesome.
match. Got all hats.
Marguerite says, "Map crunching every day. Random point on Google Earth to draw or paint." That's a cool idea.
That is cool. Yeah.
Is that what you're doing right now, Marguerite? That's a cool idea.
I used to play in when the Google Maps first became a thing. Doing Google View tourism.
Yeah.
You just go to different parts of the world and you go through all their streets and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Drawing stuff.
I never thought that was a thing. It's because I didn't.
And funny enough, because I was trying to go to some tourist-y monuments and stuff, and when the pictures were taken around the Statue of Liberty, you can't. There's no the street view didn't capture it. It just captured different angles of the shadow.
Oh no!
So it's I was just spinning around it, and I couldn't. I don't know if they've changed it now, but. I remember it was very hard to get a good angle on it.
I can imagine.
I have painty marker fingers. It's crusted all up here. It's great.
So I have gone to so many formal things over the years, and so many. How did you leave the house that way? And I'm like, I tried to get all of it off. But so much, so many times have my fingertips look like this.
Yeah.
And you do your best. Awesome. Okay, well, let's we'll get on into that process as soon as these suckers dry and take things to a whole nubble. And then we'll get these posted for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That's super cool. We'll post them on both. Post them on yours. Post them on mine.
Post them up.
All the kids will be like, "Hey, I want to get in on that fun action." Yeah. All right. So thanks very much, everybody, for coming by. If I haven't mentioned this through the whole stream, but if anybody ever has one-page story ideas, you're always welcome to put them in the comments for my videos. I really appreciate when people are putting comments down, or on any of the social media posts like on Instagram or Facebook, and that includes if you just got word suggestions. You do something with worms, that's fine.
Some funny words like detritus.
Detritus.
Stick that on there.
Worms, detritus, Czechoslovakia. Why not? And And we'll try to make a one-story page out of those. And today's suggestion was hunting for geodes. And, well, there's a geode in it.
And there was a journey that was taken.
It was a hunt. But, yeah, you know, you gotta have fun with this. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up? Where can people find you?
Cat in the Toque.
Cat in the Toque.
Instagram. That's all. The only social media I use these days.
Toque is a Canadian word for hat.
It means a hat. It's like, you know how the cat wears a hat? It's a toque.
In Canada, we read that as cat in the toque, eh?
My favorite pronunciation I've ever seen of toque by an American is Tocque.
Tocque?
Tocque.
Oh, that's too good.
Toque.
I've heard somebody say baklava.
Love it.
And instead of balaclava. It was an indie film that was submitted to a film, like a local film festival. Yeah. And the guy goes, okay, everybody get your balaclavas on. Any seriousness that there was in that film was just completely gone for me at that point, because I was just giggling about balaclava for the rest of that movie.
After it was made.
I'm a horrible monster.
I did the socials. Eventually, I'll put some work up there. Right now it's a lot of cats.
A lot of cats.
And, you know, other crafty things, so I just gotta use it more.
Yeah, because you do an awful lot of handcrafts. Like, you do an awful lot of things with your hands. And knitting.
That's what sorry.
And what was the most recent piece of clothing you made?
I'm making a winter jacket.
A winter...
Right on the cusp of spring.
A winter jacket, just in time for the warm weather.
Yeah,
but the fact that you're making a winter jacket is quite the effort.
Right? And I'm hoping to get into some fun sweater pattern making. It's my next kind of large project.
I had a really funny thing that happened recently, and that is that I received one of these recently. Now, years ago, you made these.
Oh, yeah! I totally forgot about it.
She hand-stitched the logo for the comic company for us to sew on jackets. I love it so much I didn't want to stitch it onto any clothing.
Oh, hilarious.
But I still have this.
Fantastic.
It's so great, but I got it the other day. Like, I have one in a drawer that you gave me, but somebody else bought one at one of the early cons we were at, and I received this week. So if you don't have one, you should have this one.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, well, there you
I mean,
go.
I can make them.
I know you can, but that's not the point.
That's cute.
But it's so fun because I got mine still.
Yeah.
And I just love it that there's another one. All right, well, brilliant. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you everybody for coming out. Jim says, wonderful show, you guys. Wonderful show. So that's a relevant impression of Ed Sullivan. And tonight we're gonna have a wonderful show. All right, thanks everybody for coming out. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST, and I hope to see you then. In the meantime, I hope you have some fun creating some things.
See ya.
Bye for now. Anne says, thanks, guys. Well, actually...